Hi, I'm Tracy Felcher, and I'm here today to talk to you, parents, educators, social service agencies, community partners, especially those from the Women's Infants and Children's Program, otherwise known as WIC, and fellow students, about an idea I believe could have a positive impact on our families, children, and society moving forward. My idea is not new, but my approach is, and I didn't come up with this approach on my own. A group of my fellow students here at Arizona State University and I needed to find an issue that we felt strongly about and come up with a solution. Along with being a group of students, we were a group of women who have experienced working with children and families, and we recognize that externalized behaviors in our children have become a real problem. So today, I'm going to present our solution to this problem: externalizing behaviors in youth and why parenting interventions during early childhood are effective and necessary. You may be wondering, what is this thing, externalizing behaviors, as we don't commonly walk around referring to it this way. Externalizing behaviors are those behaviors such as temper tantrums, that fit you seen that 2-year-old throwing in the grocery store the other day. It's when a child is angry and they hit and they throw their toys. It's when they scream and refuse to do what they're asked. These sound pretty common, and if we're talking about a toddler, age appropriate. Externalizing behaviors are those negative emotions and feelings that are directed outwards towards other people and things, and they're not just seen in our young children. They are those antisocial behaviors like physical aggression, stealing, and destruction of property, the defiance and disobeying rules, and yes, temper tantrums. Externalizing behaviors sound pretty common and natural, so what's the big deal? We have learned that there are many contributing factors to our behaviors, not only as children, but as we become adults as well. That the behaviors we establish as children overflow into our adulthood. We know that biological and social factors contribute to many of our behaviors. Nutrition, conditions during maternal pregnancy, maternal substance use, and genetics. These, coupled with emotional and psychological factors, such as the parent-child interactions, parenting styles, and socio-economical and environmental factors, such as poverty, domestic violence, or harmony, influence our behaviors. Let's go back to the point that most 2-year-olds display some sort of aggression. Research shows that approximately 10% of all mothers of preschoolers report that their child displays moderate to severe externalizing behaviors, those temper tantrums and defiances. However, it is how a parent responds to these behaviors that determines if this becomes problematic or normal. If a parent doesn't have the knowledge and skills to appropriately respond, you see anger and frustration on the parent's part, and the child continues to act out. This is where that downward spiral begins. A child acts out in an appropriate way. A parent responds with anger and frustration. The parent feels incompetent. The child may be possibly kicked out of daycare or preschool for their behaviors. And as a result, the parent's reactions become more harsh. This has a negative impact on the parent-child relationship, which has a negative impact on the child's behavior. Because no one teaches parents what to expect and how to handle externalizing behaviors, often parents do what their parents did, good or bad. If parents are given the opportunity to learn some skills, then they typically respond to the same behaviors in a more positive, productive way, thus reducing the intensity and frequency of these behaviors. If there's no intervention, the cycle continues through the child's life, and the parent-child relationship continues to deteriorate. As the child gets older, these behaviors are referred to as hyperactivity, aggression, antisocial actions, defiance, delinquency. You've heard of all of those, right? and they cost society between $335 and $350 billion each year. The root of these behavioral problems is linked to behavioral patterns that were established in early childhood. The belief behind the approach I'm presenting, that interventions during early childhood, before the age of 5, is most effective in changing the trajectory of a young child's behavior, and it will reduce antisocial behaviors later in life. We know that approximately 50% of children who display disruptive behaviors in early childhood will continue to act out as teens and adults, that negative parent-child relationships lead to relationship issues later in life. Adults prone to externalizing behaviors are also prone to substance abuse and unstable employment, which has a huge impact, negative impact, on our society. Therefore, intervention focused on parenting during those early childhood years is the most effective approach. A child's brain is much more flexible than adolescence, which makes early intervention more effective and feasible in terms of cost, time, and effort. The cycle continues without intervention, and now we have behavioral issues that have been passed on from one generation to another. You may be wondering, if we know all this, what are we doing about it? Well, our current approach has been to attempt to treat the issues and behaviors as they become unbearable. Most often, parents are aware of these behaviors and have been unable to manage them, so they just overlook them. What can they do? What have they been taught to do? The child is now school-aged, and the behaviors are continuing into the classrooms. Teachers are spending more and more time on trying to maintain safe and appropriate classrooms, trying to manage these externalized behaviors that are disruptive to their classrooms, and they have less time to actually do what they're supposed to be doing, teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic. The child is referred to the office and to school administrators and counselors, and finally they reach out to the parent. By this time, the behavior pattern is on. Families are referred to parent-child therapy, where therapists have developed plans and designed programs that help teach parents and children effective methods of coping with stress and expressing emotions. And usually this is coupled with parent education. They recommend that parents take some kind of parenting education. Now you may be thinking, great, isn't that what we want? Isn't that what you're proposing? Why, yes. My solution is indeed parenting education. My solution is to partner with WIC, an evidence-based parenting education program such as PPT, and provides parenting classes that will give parents education on positive parenting techniques that support the development of cognitive and social skills, positive parent-child and peer relationships, and because we know that having these positive relationships is the key to the prevention of delinquency, risky behaviors, and school failure in our youth. We also believe that group discussion is important, and that when parents connect with other parents who may be going through similar experiences, parents feel more confident and less stressed. Having a community to share daily struggles with can help normalize stressors like poverty and challenging child behaviors. You may be wondering, how did you come up with this idea? Do you have any proof that this could be successful? Why partner with WIC? What does WIC have to do with it? Let me tell you a little bit about mandated divorce parenting programs. Many states, including Arizona, have implemented mandated evidence-based parenting classes such as PPT for divorcing parents, and the outcome has shown that this one step has positively improved family outcomes nationwide. It has helped parents learn how to appropriately handle and expect the behaviors that their children who are experiencing the extra stress and emotional upheaval that comes from divorce bring into their lives. We learned earlier that poverty is a contributing factor to externalized behaviors. The numbers show that nearly 20% of children from low-income families are displaying difficult and challenging antisocial behaviors in school. What is WIC? WIC is a nutritional program that helps low-income families with children ages 0 to 5 by providing them with healthy foods and nutritional information. There are various programs offered through WIC. The programs range from breastfeeding education, farmers market vouchers, family nutrition education. Families are encouraged to participate in as many of these programs as they would like. The programs offered by WIC are voluntary for the families, and right now they can decide, if any, that they attend. WIC is already a positive influence on our families, a resource families have come to trust, and a resource that comes in contact with our most vulnerable families, and a resource that these vulnerable families turn to for advice. However, there are currently no parent education programs being offered. Programs such as Triple P, Positive Parenting Program, would be beneficial in minimizing externalizing behaviors in youth. Can you see where I'm going with this? Let's talk about parenting education. Programs such as Triple P, the Triple P stands for Positive Parenting Program, is an evidence-based approach that has been in use for over 30 years. Its goal is to create or improve positive parenting practices, which will then improve the emotional and social health of the child. The services are designed to meet the needs of families and children from the ages of 0 to 16. Triple P offers different levels of solutions, which include education, support, and intervention services. So why Triple P? Well, Triple P uses several levels of intervention. Level 1 is media. They use media to outreach to our community to help reduce the stigmatization that goes along with parenting classes or parenting education. This outlet leads to referrals throughout our community, and it encourages parents to seek help without fear of shame or embarrassment. It tells our community that being a parent is hard and that it's okay to ask for help. Level 2 is a group class approach with seminars that teach one topic at a time, such as raising resilient teens or the principles of positive parenting. Participants can interact with each other as well as a trained instructor and discuss specific problems as well as go through the assigned curriculum. These kind of seminars are what we are advocating WIC add to their benefit requirements. Now they also offer a narrow parenting training. This level involves instructing parents in clear ways of dealing with specific misbehaviors of their children. Parents are also left with a tip sheet that they can take home with them, and it has advice and principles printed out on it for future reference. There's also discussion groups parents may join for more support and more time practicing these new methods. Level 4 goes one step further and teaches parents skills needed for building a better relationship with their child, encouraging positive behavior and further instruction on correcting misbehavior. This format can be done in either an individual therapy or a group therapy sessions, which usually last 8 to 10 weeks. Level 5 tackles the more challenging issues like divorce, addiction, obesity, stress and coping, and anger management. All of these factors can greatly impact a family's ability to function and are more challenging to overcome. The Triple P program is one of the most effective evidence-based parenting programs with positive parenting practices such as individualized education, which employs methods such as role play, goal setting, self-reflection through journaling, practitioner-led group discussions, and at-home parenting support and guidance. Adding semi-annual education courses on parenting skills, family life, and child development to our current WIC participants' lives is an efficient way to get much-needed information to low-income families. Parent education is one of the most effective ways to reduce externalized behaviors in young children. Triple P is a unique program that not only works directly with practitioners to teach positive parenting education, but also partners with other organizations, which are already operating within certain areas of the community. Creating a partnership between WIC and Triple P is a winning combination. It will bring tested evidence-based principles, which have improved family relationships for decades, to at-risk families currently receiving services provided by WIC. Partnering two successful organizations like WIC and Triple P will help keep costs to a minimum and provide the most effective and targeted solution to help low-income families reduce externalizing behaviors and unhealthy relationships. So, what are the benefits for families? Well, the parents who have participated in Triple P in the past have reported that they feel empowered to take control of their family life and relationships. They learn through the one-on-one instruction that they get that teaches them skills like emotional self-regulation, perspective taking, verbalizing emotions, self-care, positive feedback, and emotion coaching. The parents state that they experience less stress, less tension in the home, less depression, and see fewer behavior problems. What are the benefits for the community? Well, when families are functioning well, society is functioning well. Triple P improves outcomes for families, which improves outcomes for our society. And communities that have implemented and invested in evidence-based parenting practices, such as Triple P, where the schools support this, they report that they have less child abuse cases, ER visits, foster placements. The need for psychiatric treatment is less. There's less school disruptions. And child and adolescent law enforcement issues are few. And yes, usually these are communities that have money to invest. So therefore, my proposal would be to connect and implement mandated evidence-based parenting, such as Triple P, to be taught in conjunction with our WIC programs, mandating that before a parent can obtain a WIC voucher, they must participate in this parenting program. We believe that this will reduce externalized behaviors in some of the most vulnerable children before they reach school age. This will reduce the behaviors in children of school age, creating a better environment for them to obtain an education, and ultimately reducing the delinquency into adulthood, creating an overall better society. Thank you.